I'm really excited. Today I get to show you and share my progress on our flower meadow. It's been a long dream of mine to make my very own flower meadow, and this year is coming true. I'm sharing with you the process that we went through, and later on we'll do a bloom update. Hope you enjoy. So this is day one. As you can see, our lawn is absolutely in a poor condition. We have weeds, we have a lot of dirt, and the grass that we tried to reseed didn't take very well, or not for a very long time anyway. So step one, removing all the weeds. This is day one of the meadow project, and we're starting the deweeding. We have a little trowel and a little pellet. Let's deweed.
How cold is it?
I think it's currently 2 degrees. So example of weed, this is a dandelion. You can tell here by the typical shape of the flower. Hand weeding is so hard, but it's so worth it. And for perennial weeds like this dandelion, make sure to remove as much of the root as possible, because otherwise it will come back to haunt you. And those things are tough. They can grow in all sorts of conditions, so make sure you try to remove them as much as possible. Look at that. This was just like that little small bit of green poking out. Look at that root. Remove the full bucket of weeds so far, and I have a feeling there's at least 3 times that amount, but I think this is as much as I can hand pull today. So what we're going to do is just cover. We could use some weed killer, but it's really not environmentally friendly, and we don't have to sow for another couple of months. So I think covering the soil just to block the sunlight, and so the energy source of the plant will be enough to get a bit of a clean slate later on. So we're going to do that. You may see it. It's that thing we're going to use. Let's set it up and then we'll have a look. It's going to be a bit small. The tarp we had on hand did end up being too small, so we had to run to the garden center to get another one. So I thought I'd give you a bit of an update. Earlier we got rid of the weeds in that area. This used to be a little grass area, and we have a couple of stepping stones that we left there. But in order to remove the weeds and make sure that our meadow has the best chance of starting up, we had to cover up, and I'm going to give you a peek. So this is what it looks like. We have our beautiful tulips ready to burst out, and this is a new plants, and this is a shade bed over there. Let me try to show you. Again, oh, look at those about to burst. So pretty. So we have first a row of beautiful hyacinths and then lots of tulips. It's going to be really pretty. Aha, yes, this is a good example. You can see how, I hope you can see, like everything is starting to become a bit yellowish, and this is because of course we removed the sunlight. Finally, it's time to remove that ugly tarp and move on with the project. I just cannot wait. Drum roll, please. So it turns out that this tarp was not opaque and was letting a lot of sunshine through. So the weeds underneath are probably not dead as we expected. That means a bit more work. So if you do that project too, just make sure you pick one that is pitch black and doesn't let anything filter through. We didn't realize it because we installed it at night. So another thing, do it in daylight. And so because our weeds and survivor grass are not dead, we had to rotavate the soil. If you have a machine, use it. We just had a couple of shovels on hand, so this is what we used. That little area of the garden has clay soil, so it gets really lumpy and compresses really easily. So we are trying here to make smaller lumps and get it as fine as possible. This is compost from Aldi actually, so if you live in the UK, there's compost at an unbeatable price there. And we're just going to sprinkle a thin layer on top and try to mix it in. You must have noticed, but this soil here is really, like it's clay, and so it compacts really easily, and we want to make sure our little plants for the meadow will have the best possible chance of establishing. So we're trying to do a bit of soil amendments now. So I think I'm just going to start from here and then go my way around. Hopefully one bag for each half will be enough. Let's do this. Typically, flower meadows don't require a very rich soil, but we add to add compost to improve our soil structure. Now that I've added my compost, I'm just scratching it in with a rake to improve the soil structure. And now to the most exciting part, the sowing, or at least preparing the mix. As a base, I'm using 2 ready-made mixes, one with perennial wildflower mix and one with an annual mix of UK native wildflowers. Then I added a couple of things like these peel buttons for a touch of yellow, a little bit more of cornflowers. Then I also chose some beautiful Californian poppies. I really love the peachy tones of these. More cornflowers, but in another color to complement everything, and some violas because these are really cute. And then the homegrown poppy seeds that are already leaking everywhere. Look at that. Those are little poppy seeds. You can see those little things like. Oh, right, making a mess already. So now it's a little bit of a cooking step. To make sure I get an homogeneous mix, I decided to literally pour all the seeds together in a bowl, mix them really well, and then sprinkle. So this way I can make sure that I have a nice even distribution of all my seeds across my surface. So those are probably a lot more than you'd need for the surface area that I'm seeding, but I know I'm going to have to fight pigeon, birds, and seeds that are not going to germinate, so I'm okay with that. Now it's time to sow the meadow. That's really easy. All you have to do is sprinkle the seeds evenly on your surface. I haven't captured that step, but after you're sowing, you want to rake them in slightly and step on the seeds just to make sure they make good contact with the compost. And of course, watering is a very important step, and I made sure to water my meadow every day, sometimes twice a day if it's really windy or the conditions get really dry, because you want to make sure to keep those seeds well hydrated until they can germinate, and then of course make sure the seedlings get an appropriate amount of water. So I'm just using my hose with a soft watering to try not to dislodge the seeds. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching our meadow come together. Of course, we'll give you progress updates as everything grows, and I'm hoping that this summer we're going to have a gorgeous flower meadow literally just out on our doorstep. There are 2 times where it's best to sow your meadow for best chance of success: in the spring, so that everything has time to grow and be nurtured for the summer, and in autumn to give a bit more time to the perennial plants to grow on. I hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.